and I hope you like the show. Wow, yeah.
Ooh, Carmen, welcome back to another episode of
Sweet Gravy.
Sweet Gravy.
Boy, get it together.
Huh? That was Angelo Moore. Remember him?
Of course.
I like his tasteful music, his tasty jams. But something that's been getting a lot of play off of my phone lately, you know what it is?
What, do you got it queued up on the board?
Huh?
Do you got it in there?
Do I got what in there?
It's on the board.
Do I got what?
Don't do it.
Huh?
Girl.
So there's this video going on, and it's apparently it's a few years old. It's a group called Toaster and Moose. They got this song about a biscuit, and they say, "Why are you looking like that?"
Because it's ridiculous.
The song's like, "Taste the biscuit,
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
taste the honey sauce
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
with the honey sauce," and isn't it great?
I hate it.
Why?
I hate everything about it.
And so I went down this rabbit hole of the Toaster and Moose. They've got like a reunion. Apparently it was a big deal, and now it got found on the TikToks, so it's reemerging. But you're, I don't know how you like the Billy Ray Cyrus. Maybe you watched the Hannah Montanas whenever you were younger. But
Because, no, Renaissance Man, they sing his Achy Breaky Heart song in the shower scene that they do.
what is Renaissance Man?
Renaissance Man is about these kids who is learning, they're in the army, but they're learning Shakespeare in one of the classes in the in army boot camp or something like that. It just shows like these young kids in a boot camp.
So you like it because in that movie they play one of his songs?
Yeah.
Well, his hit?
Well, we really we really like that movie. We watched that movie.
You and your sister?
Yeah, me and you gotta watch it. It's so good. It's such a classic.
So that's why you're a Billy Ray Cyrus fan? And so in the algorithm, because I've been
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
watching the video so often, Carmen, that it keeps popping up new stuff, and then it's
Your algorithms got to be all over the place.
George Lopez and Billy Ray Cyrus. They started singing the song together. Apparently, George Lopez had like just tons and tons of that song playing all the time. What do you think about that?
It's silly. The whole thing is silly. It's these like middle-aged white woman singing this song.
Yeah, how's it go?
Nobody want to hear you singing that.
Why not?
Because
Apparently they do, because it went viral not once but twice.
it went viral because of how ridiculous it is. Not because
It is kind of ridiculous, huh?
Yeah. That's funny. You're pretty funny. So we if we have time off on a weekend, we'd like to maybe go get breakfast sometimes. And we would go to this Mexican breakfast spot this
Today?
morning.
Yeah.
And
Three Brothers Diner?
Yeah.
Is that what it was called?
yeah. And I thought it was pretty cool. It was a different type of breakfast.
We pull up to it, and they've got this little tiny sign, and it's like this 3-pane window. And it's in between a Little Caesars and a Family Dollar. And I look at Carmen, and I'm like, okay, this place is going to be the best.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be so good.
He was like,
But it was really good. I think that's the best breakfast spot that we've had here in Columbus.
It's different. You like Mexican food a lot, so I figured let's go get some Mexican breakfast. And I had the huevos rancheros, which is a classic.
Yeah. I
dish.
had the chilaquiles.
And oh my God, I can't believe
Why?
who goes and buys chilaquiles.
It's a breakfast.
I don't know. I'm just not.
You don't like it because it's soggy chips?
It's soggy chips. Why would you want? Like, I get my chili and cheese on the side so my chips don't get soggy. And the whole point of chilaquiles is soggy chips.
Right.
Oh my God. When I lived in Arizona, that used to make me so angry. It's like I'm at work and then this kid is going to make lunch for everybody. in this little well, it's Arizona, so it's a lot of Mexican kids there. And he's like, I gotta make authentic food. Like, he's like, I'm making chilaquiles and everybody's like, yeah, hell yeah, chilaquiles. And I was like, what is that? I didn't know what it was at the time.
Right.
And then he's like, here, try, you'll love it. I was like, oh my God, this is not fair. He's making the lunch today, and then I can't have lunch because I don't want soggy chips.
You got soggy chips. Oh, man. So, you know how I came to be knowledgeable about the chilaquiles is, we were watching The Hype, and Paul Rodriguez, the skateboarder, was on there. And then there's Paul Rodriguez, the comedian, which is actually Paul Rodriguez, the skateboarder's father, and he's in a movie called A Million to One. It's kind
I've heard of it.
Kind of like a plan where 1,000,000 to 1. A million to 1. And the little boy, so he's like a single father, and the little boy, it's one of those cute movies where the little boy tries to hook up his dad, and he tells this woman that he's trying to get attached to his father that my daddy makes the best chilaquiles, and it's so cute. And then watched it, and then Fred made some chilaquiles, and it was amazing. It was so good.
Soggy chips.
Yeah.
Why would you want soggy chips?
I think it's great. I think it's beautiful.
Oh my God, I don't get it. I never got it. I just know that it used to make me angry because I wasn't used to it. It's just a different culture, a different staple in another culture, and yeah, it was just something I wasn't used to.
Yeah.
It's now I think that since we've been together, also I work in kitchens, so I'm around different types of food all the time. So I was able to expand my palate a little bit with that. But then since we've been together, we like to go out and try different places. Like, if I haven't tried a place, I want to try it to see, what are they about. And I couldn't do that when I was younger because none of my friends had money to ever go out to eat, to do anything. And you don't want to go to a nice restaurant by yourself. So it's like, man,
right.
Like, I go to Mexican Village, but that's all, tailored to fit the environment that it's in, kind of. You know how in the tourist areas they jazz up the food because they got
Yeah, well, when you're younger, your priorities are different too. So you're not like, let's go out and have spend all this money on meals. You want to spend your money on other things.
I wanted to because I already worked in kitchens. So working in kitchens, I see groups of people come in, and I'm like, how did they get 10 people to all come in together? Like, how do you get that many people together? And do one people pay for the person pay for everything?
Right.
Like, how does this work? Because I could never find that many people to go out to dinner at the same time, which sucks. So once me and you got together, it's like, yeah, no, we can go do different stuff, and I don't have to go by myself to nice dinners.
Right.
Just sit there by myself on my phone, looking lonely as hell, eating dinner by myself. That's depressing.
I don't know. We went to breakfast last week to Tommy's Diner.
Yeah.
Was that last week or the week before?
I think that was last week.
And they have like a little bar.
Yeah.
And they were like, the bar was like filled. And, there were people that are like, I'm just one. And then they'd stand there and they'd wait for their bar. So I think if you go to a place, because we had to wait like 20 minutes to get into there. I think if you're a single person, you go to Tommy's Diner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yep, and you can sit around other people and don't look stupid eating by yourself at the table.
That's
with
right.
one person. No, that does make sense. The only thing is, their seats were too close together for me. I can't eat next to somebody I don't know like that.
Eating next to what I don't, you go to Gritty's. Remember Gritty's in Portland, and they've got those big ass tables that seat like 20 people. They're like a lunch, like a mess hall. And then you gotta sit next to strangers there. Oxbow was kind of the same way too. Like,
Oxbow's the same way. Like, I didn't mind Oxbow because you just drinking mostly. Some people be eating, but like I could easily by myself just find a spot down at the end of the the little picnic table and like be good to go. But yeah, at Gritty's was weird because it'd be a family like next to you.
Yeah, there'd be like a family, and you're like, oh, I just came in here for like some drinks and a pretzel, and then there's like this little like 10-year-old boy
next to you because everybody it's a lot of places like that in Maine. We went to a lobster place with your mom and her friend, and that was similar to that. You just sit anywhere. Like you might have people on this side of the table, this side of the table.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. They have a lot of little places like that. It's all about community,
Right.
and everyone being together.
Uh-huh.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah, it's weird. Stay away from me.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
I know, but I think that comes from us growing up in like different cities and things like that, where people kind of stay to themselves. Like people ask me all the time, "Do you hang out with your neighbors?" Like, no, we don't do that where I'm from.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to even get to. No, you stay your ass over there.
Uh-huh.
Let's not even get. It gets weird when you get cool with it's just a little too personal.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? And then maybe they want to like, so, it's the saying no, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I gotta say no a lot.
Right.
Because I just don't want to.
I mean, we had like my mom's best friend that recently passed away. She met him because he moved into the neighborhood. He was her neighbor, and they became best friends. And they came he came over all the time. He would help her cut her grass. So like, in some situations, it does work out, but some situations it can go bad. It's that delicate balance. You know what I mean? Like I can see you doing it more if you live in a house and you live right next to those people. But you're not about to be borrowing sugar and shit. Don't come your ass over here asking to borrow cornmeal because you forgot it at the store. No. It's like, that's so weird to me. But I remember we did it as kids. Like, go down the street and ask Kim if she got some sugar over. They're like, oh my God, that's so disgusting. Like, why are we doing this? I hated it. But we have, we talked about it before. We have a neighbor here, the cat lady. And me and her had a conversation a few days ago.
Okay.
I was standing outside smoking a cigarette, and she comes by and, you know, she's just being funny with the cat or whatever. And I said, is that your cat? And she said, no, it's a stray. She said, no, the cat's a stray.
You got to talk louder.
I'm sorry. She said, no, the cat is a stray. I said, you feed him? And she was like, yeah, but don't tell nobody. The brown one, I feed him too. She was like, I love cats, but I already have two, so I can't let them in, but I want to let them in. And I was like, I don't know about that. Like, leave them cats alone if you don't know them. Like,
But that cat like follows her around too. Like she'll take.
that's
her for
why
a
she
walk.
wants to take him. But she's saying she already got two, and she can't. It's already too many cats. Like, she can't have a third and fourth cat. But they know she feed them. That's why they hang out by her door all the time.
Right.
And she was like, I'm so happy to meet a fellow catateer or some shit. She said, like, a fellow cat person. Super happy to meet you because I'm a cat person and I'm glad that you like the cats. And I was just like, where did she get that from?
You know,
I do not like cats.
you know, you have a problem with the crickets we have here.
Yeah.
If you had a cat, you wouldn't have a problem with the crickets around here.
Cats are so unpredictable though. Like, how do you control a cat? They just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And then the biggest part about cats that bother me is, and I don't know how this works because I've been over some people's house where they're able to take care of it and control it, and like you can't tell that they got cats unless you see the cats. But it's not like hair all over the house.
Yes,
it's
it
not
is.
like, I mean, it is, but it's not as noticeable.
Sure it is.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm just saying, some people houses with cats, you walk in, you smell the litter box almost immediately. It's like, oh my God, this thing is using a bathroom inside of a box and you got to scoot. That part of it is stressful.
Yeah.
The dog,
That's
he
gross.
just go outside and do it. And then you can choose to pick it up or not.
You're such a bad person.
Oh my God.
You can't say that you choose to pick it up or not.
You don't think a lot of people...
I know they do, but that's a horrible thing to do. You created a problem with somebody else. The little kids out here playing in the grass, they get your dog shit on their shoes, and then their parents are like, they got dog shit on their shoes, and it's your fault.
Yeah, I'm part of the problem, but all growing up, I stepped on somebody else's dog shit, and I just dealt with it. You just go about life like it didn't happen.
I know, but you can make the world a better place.
I know. Maybe I'll start. Maybe if we have a kid, I'll start working towards those things.
Just start working towards picking up
Being more environmental.
dog doo-doo.
Being more environmentally friendly. Not throwing trash or cigarette butts on the ground. I'd start doing all that stuff if we have a kid.
Right.
Not now.
So gross.
funny.
So recently, the streaming service Peacock, they had a sale, and it was pretty cheap. Basically, you could subscribe for a year for like $2 a month. Mm-hmm. And I hopped on it because the new Halloween movie was coming out, and it was gonna stream same day on Peacock as it was gonna play in the theaters. Mm-hmm. I was like, $2 a month. If I were to go to the theater, because I really like the last Halloween movie, the last two, right. Halloween and then Halloween Kills. Mm-hmm. So good, both of them.
You like the scary stuff.
I don't though. I'm not a horror movie guy.
Since Halloween stuff started, this season didn't start. You've been crazy about all those scary movies.
Well, so I was super excited last week. The new Halloween was coming out, and like I get home from work on Friday, I make myself a nice dinner, and I sit down and I start watching the new Halloween movie. Carmen, it was atrocious.
It was bad?
It was the worst. They're signing petitions now to get reshoots to make the movie different. The audiences aren't happy with the Halloween Ends is the name of the movie.
And you already saw the whole thing?
Yeah.
So now they want to change it after they saw it?
Yeah, because it was horrible.
Because they super fans, and they're like, this is not what we wanted. Isn't it crazy how that works? Like something come out, and then like I guess it's the power of the people. People can move and change things if enough people get in on it.
Yeah. Like the Justice League movie had come out.
Yeah.
And Zack Snyder was originally like the director of the Justice League. Mm-hmm. And he had to back out. And then another director took over and completely like changed the movie. Mm-hmm. And then the movie that came out was really bad. Mm-hmm. And then like there was like a petition to make the Snyder cut. They're like, release the Snyder cut. And then when HBO Max came out, Warner Brothers gave him like $100 million to Zack Snyder to finish the movie in his vision. Mm-hmm. And it was like, like 4 hours long or something, like 5 hours long. And it's definitely like better. But
shit, Joe Rogan got $100 million for Spotify.
Yeah, that's different though.
I know it is, because he's only doing one job technically. He's not obligated.
But they're adjusting something that was already completed.
Yeah.
And
that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And so that's becoming like a thing where the people, like, you kind of want to give the people what they want because they give you the money. Mm-hmm. And you already made the money from dissatisfying them. Yeah. So if you give them something different, they might pay it again.
Mm-hmm. I feel like
that was a big hit for HBO Max when it first came out.
This world that we live in is fucking ridiculous.
Why?
Because you talk about these numbers being thrown around and this amount of money for this and this amount of money for this movie, like all this money that such a small percentage of the population control. Uh-huh. And then you got all these homeless people who don't even got $1 to like buy a sandwich at the store. Mm-hmm. Then you got hundreds of $1 millions being given to a guy who like reshoots a movie. You should be compensated. Obviously, I understand how it works, how you make money off the movie, blah blah. But god damn, like, how can you even feel comfortable with yourself walking around knowing that it's people not even children not eating every day, and you just got $100 million for one project? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but a lot of money's tied into it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's just how it works. I know.
Yeah, that's just the way that the world works. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
That's just how it works.
Some people don't eat because they don't want to.
That's true too.
Like it's there's a lot of caveats with that.
Yeah. But you get
it's not just a blanket thing.
No, it's not a black or white. It's a gray.
Right.
I get it. So I was just watching this little, not documentary, but this guy on YouTube. Have you heard of him? The Frog Man?
No.
So it's this guy who pretty much created a frog army in his backyard in this suburban neighborhood. Mm-hmm. He went to like swamps and stuff in the area, and like I guess it's a time of year where you'll see like a bunch of tadpoles forming, like the eggs and everything. You can find them in certain areas. And he like completely drained this, whatever this swamp place was, got all the tadpoles, and brought him back to his like 1.4 million tadpole eggs. And obviously all of them didn't survive, so he still ended up with hundreds of thousands of frogs. But he's saying if you leave them there, most of them die because they get eaten by other things anyway. So it's, that's how the ecosystem and everything is controlled, because they kill off so many of them.
Right.
But he pretty much harvested them all in his backyard in this big tank that he bought. And then they were all little tadpoles. They all were surviving. And then they turned into little baby frogs. And then he don't know how to control them because he shouldn't have had them in the first fucking place. Like, what do you do with a bunch of little tiny frogs like this hopping around? Now that they're big enough to like hop, you can't. What do you do with them?
Right.
And how do you contain them when you just did it in your backyard of a neighborhood? So now his neighbors are moving out because the frogs are getting in their houses. They're everywhere. Like his videos online. The frogs are all over his doorstep. They're getting in his house. They're in the neighbors' houses. The neighbors are like, we got to move out. Like, what did you do to our neighborhood? He just created a frog army that took over the whole neighborhood. And then people are on there like, you're going to go to jail for that frog crime. You can't do that. I would assume that it does not help the ecosystem to release a million frogs into a suburban neighborhood.
Right.
It's just silly that people do stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I'm creating a frog army. I don't think he realized like what was gonna happen when he started.
So what happened?
Frogs got everywhere. Now they're trying to control them.
That's the end?
That's the end of the story. I wonder if he's gonna get in trouble or get a fine or something for it. Because the neighborhood he in looked like it's a neighborhood where you pay fees and all that stuff. So he's probably gonna get a fine or something. Like you can't getting kicked out. You can't be doing shit like that. Like, sir, please don't get any more frogs.
I've had enough of the frogs.
Yeah, we're done. It's like, I always wanted a frog growing up. So you harvest 1 million of them?
So now I got all the frogs I could ever dream of.
He couldn't even do nothing with them. He don't even know what to do with them. It's like, what about when they get bigger? And he's like, well, they're so tiny. They'll get killed off by birds and like things like that. But not that many.
It'll fix itself.
Yeah,
That's how the world works.
I know. It's just a funny little story I came across. It's like, who does that? But I kind of love it because I do like frogs. Little ones. Not the one that we got. I don't like that
The one living outside? You don't like that one?
Mm-mm.
It is a pretty big guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty juicy frog. He just be popping up. I wonder where he be at. Where do you think he hides at when he's not over by us?
I don't know. There's a whole woods back there.
What do frogs do in the wintertime?
I don't know. Do they hibernate?
I don't think frogs hibernate.
Well, it's not like they just live for 1 year.
I know, but what they do in the winter?
It gets like 0 degrees.
I know, they can't survive in that.
Yeah, they're cold-blooded.
Yeah, I don't know what they do. That's we probably should look that up.
Yeah.
We should Google what frogs do in the
What
winter.
do frogs
what
do
do
in the
little
winter?
ghetto hood frogs do in the winter? See if we could find out some answers.
Yeah.
That's funny. So what else you watch?
Well, what came with the Peacock was a nice, beautiful surprise. There was a documentary that was just released. It was called "I Love You, You Hate Me." Yeah,
I saw that on my streaming platforms when I was checking out shows yesterday. I didn't realize what the title was when I came across it.
Yeah, and it's a documentary about the rise of and hatred for Barney. Just kind of like how the show started.
And how proud they were to have created this character.
And then how all these groups of people created Barney hate groups.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. It was so cool.
It's so silly because this is something I guess you don't think about, but I mean, I can remember some of it. Little sprinkles here and there you might have heard something or saw a little clip on TV or something. But
I don't
remember it being like that.
Growing up, everybody was talking about how I know the story that I heard was Barney took off his glove and he gave everybody the middle finger. But he doesn't wear a glove. It's a whole suit.
Right.
Like there's no gloves on Barney.
That's what I'm saying. I know I heard little snippets.
You
and
hear
stuff.
like stories like that, and then you like see the people that are like the voice of Barney. The voice of Barney is not the guy in the Barney suit. And then like the second guy that was in the Barney suit, like the first guy, he quit Barney and he joined the military because he wanted violence in his life. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And then the other guy,
like, what?
he was like, yeah, I had to join the military after Barney. Like, what did you do before you joined? I was Barney.
Yeah. Like,
but he wasn't like huge yet. So it's
yeah,
like,
but like I need you to not be on my team because I don't deal with him.
And then the second guy that wore like the Barney suit, he was like a tantra man, and an article came out about him in 2018, and he hadn't been Barney for like 18 years at that point, 17 years or something.
The black guy.
Yeah. And they said that he was like having relations with his healing tantra people. He's like, well, we do the massage and all that stuff, but whatever happens after that, it's just kind of, it just happens.
So massage with a happy ending.
Yeah, basically, where he gives but tantra's a healing thing. He said it's all about energy.
Yeah, but it's a lot that comes with that. Energy comes from your whole body.
And then he the whole time he's wearing like Barney stuff.
Yeah, he freaked me out.
Like Team Barney, and then like he's going through like this box of like all his like Barney stuff, and he's like, "I love you, Barney." he's like, "I feel the love of Barney in me."
Oh yeah, I was like, "This is getting weird now." Like,
he's like, "It's a strange man," you know.
I mean, look at all those little shows that was created. When you see documentaries behind the scenes of how the show came about, like I remember I watched one on Blue's Clues and like how they found Steve in the first place and like how they went.
And he makes an appearance on the
and how they found the like all that stuff. They even like they went behind the scenes and talked about Bill Nye talked a little bit about his show and how like back in those days you just kind of like went with the flow because you didn't know what you were doing. You were just creating something from scratch and you just kind of like went with it, and then it became what it became.
Right. So Barney, they had started off by making like videotapes, and then they would sell like videotapes to local women in Texas, you know, and then they had like a live show in Texas, and like it was like a Texas thing, and then it slowly kind of just spread out until it hit it like a big boom, and then they had like all the product that they had made previously. So like you just find out about this stuff, but there's already like, you know, all these other videotapes,
right?
You know, so you already have a back catalog of when people discover like what's going on.
I like the part in the video where it talked about the parents in the video, and the guy said how he would be he'd come home from work and like his toddler used to run to him and scream like "Daddy, Daddy," and then once Barney came out, she wouldn't scream "Daddy" no more. She would just be glued to Barney on the TV.
Right.
It's like
it was like I hadn't seen my kid for a week.
Then that made him hate Barney, and it's like it's so silly, but it's like I don't know, man. Can you imagine being like our parents, what they had to deal with, and like being a parent and having to listen to Barney's song all day because you're a child? Like, oh my fucking god, you about to listen to grown up music because we can't be.
Yeah.
The girl at work, she's like, she's playing Old MacDonald Had a Farm all day because her kid loves it, and she was like, but she learned the sounds of animals. Now she know the sound of a cow and the sound of a chicken, and like it teaches her. It's educational for her.
Right.
But she gotta listen to it. I'm like, girl, I don't know if I can do that.
You got headphones now, right?
Get it right.
Yeah, you gotta put those things on there.
Yeah.
But then you also you want to be conscious as a parent, so you can't have your kid on the head. You gotta be the kind of like, what are you watching over there? You know, because
well, I don't know, man. Like
I know there was like YouTube. Whenever I upload anything, they ask, "Is this made for children?"
Right.
Because they have like a whole like YouTube for kids, right? And there was this one like video of like this girl that had like a freaky face or something a few years ago, and she would like tell kids to like put like metal in the microwave and turn it on. And, like, doing like weird stuff, and I
remember that.
So stuff like slips in. You know, through the kids' channels. So you gotta be like weary of that.
Like what creep came up with that content to put that on there for kids? Like get your crazy ass out of here, telling kids to put metal in a microwave. I remember when that was like a thing. Like, hold on, now what is this going on? But yeah, it's interesting. I just think as a parent, like it's something you don't think about until you get older, and the things that annoy you. You're like, my parents had to be so annoyed all the time. I remember Taiwan being 7 years younger than me, and like he would watch what did he watch? He watched the Blues Clues.
Little Bill.
Yeah, he watched Little Bill. He definitely watched Little Bill. I know Caillou was on the TV for sure. You got in
They
on
say
Caillou.
They say that that's the bald kid. Mm-hmm. They say
Little Bill was the bald kids. Why they got all these bald kids on there?
Charlie Brown.
It's like that's 3 bald kids right there that was on popular shows. Like but they gotta show everybody.
Right.
So I get that.
Maybe it's just easier to not draw a character with hair.
No, I think a lot of kids have cancer as well,
Oh,
and
is
so
that-
it represents
is that what it
them.
is? Okay.
Yeah, Little Bill probably had cancer or something.
Little
He
Bill
just
is
not
Little Bill
just-
Cosby.
Yeah, but Bill Cosby had hair.
I know.
So why he draw the boy with no
I
hair?
don't know.
Oh my God, it's funny because my friend John was like, I never went bald. I just shaved it at 10.
He was
my
always a
dad
clean
shaved.
shaven guy. Like
No, his dad used to shave his head.
no, I know, but he was like a razor shave.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big head. Like he had a shiny skull.
Even at the age of 10.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, the other kids used to be like, "What the fuck is he doing? Why is his
Why is
hair
he
bald?"
shaving his
Like
head
he
bald?
had, and he did it himself, and he, and like now you see pictures of him, and his hair is grown. I'm like, he never was. Why did he do
He
that?
actually had hair. He just wanted to have a
He
shiny
just
bald
wanted to
head.
have a shiny bald head. He wanted it,
Yeah,
and he was like, "My dad did it, so I did it."
yeah. He thought it looked cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like who? Isn't that
Like,
crazy?
my dad's like a cool guy, and look at his hair. I want
Right.
my hair like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you 10 and you in school. These kids are scared of you. They running away like, ah.
Yeah. That's funny.
It is funny. But his dad had to be the one who shaved it the first time. It was
Right.
like, why you do that to him?
Yeah.
You got to make an executive decision as a parent.
Yeah.
No. You don't get to change your hair until you get old enough.
Boys aren't just known how they don't. It's not a born-in knowledge how to shave your head.
Right.
Right. You got to learn that.
Well, I mean, like I couldn't, how old were you before your parents allowed you to drink coffee?
I don't know.
Like, but in the household, you was 14. Like, you couldn't just sit down and have a cup of coffee, could you?
No.
Wouldn't they be like, what are you doing?
No.
You don't need that coffee.
Yeah. No.
Right. We couldn't do none of that stuff till we were older. Like, I mean, like little kids get their ear pierced. Little girls get their ears pierced, stuff like that. But like, Taiwan couldn't get his ears pierced because he's a boy until he was older. Because my parents just viewed that as little girls get their ears pierced,
Right.
you know. But for a boy to like, and then back then they were like, oh, you only get the left side pierced, and then they just wearing one earring. Looking crazy. Now everybody get both sides pierced.
Right.
But you had the guys had to wait. I remember Tony. He had to wait until he was old enough, like to pay for it. It wasn't just gonna let him do it. And like tattoos, stuff like that, we couldn't do none of that until makeup or wearing certain things. Nope, you had to wait.
You got to wait.
That's crazy.
That's how it works.
I know, but now you see kids in school with green hair. I'm like, now who made that decision?
I knew a girl that had a tattoo, and we were freshmen in high school. Like, how do you get a tattoo that young? Your parents have to sign off.
Well, not always.
Yeah,
I got my first one.
This was a primo. It had colors and everything. It was a professional. It wasn't like
No, it wasn't. But it doesn't have to be a parent that signed off. My first tattoo, I got signed off by my friend Jessica because Jessica
typically is a parent legal guardian.
Right.
Right.
But they'll let somebody
Depending
old
on
enough,
where you go.
depending on where you go.
Right.
So it's like, it could have been a friend or the family or somebody.
The person that doesn't pick up their dog poop is gonna let you go in with Jessica. Right? Okay.
Don't bring it back around to that.
I got something in my eye. We gotta end this.
That's not a normal thing. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching another episode of the Sweet Gravy Podcast. If you have any questions or suggestions, please go to sweetgravypod@gmail.com. You can also check us out on YouTube and every other streaming platform.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye.